Hey, there we go. Good morning. It is just a little after 11 o'clock. Time for Drive Time Radio with New York Vinnie. That's me, yours truly. How are you? Present and accounted for. And it's our regular Saturday morning get together on a gray, cloudy, not the greatest kind of car show day that you would imagine. But yet, we're here. We're doing the show. We're going to talk about cars for the next hour. What more could you possibly want? So grab yourself a cold beverage, jump in your favorite seat, or if you're, well, I mean, I know you can listen in the car. So if you're listening in the car, thank you for doing that. We always appreciate that. Very, very appreciative of all of the people that listen to the show and participate in the show through email. We're going to try to remedy that situation so we can actually get you on live. We're working on that. You know, sometimes we're working on it. We're working on a million things to try to make the show better. I mean, the only thing that'll really work, I guess, sometimes is to just change the host. That would probably make the show infinitely better. But I'm the only one that'll work for the pay I do. So you're stuck with me. What can you do? Of course, let's see what's going on here this morning. I'm having iPhone problems. You know, I got this new iPhone. What is it? iPhone 16. And I got to be honest with you, I've had this thing 2 weeks now, and I'm not really enamored of it. Almost to the point where I might just go down a dance down to T-Mobile and say, "Hey guys, ladies, gentlemen, germs, whoever." Uh, I'm not. I'm like, give me my old phone back and my money back, and let's just, I got it for the camera. I want a better camera, and I don't think the camera's that much better, to be honest with you. And I'm really not happy with the quality of the way things work on this phone. It worked much better on the old phone. I guess the old, happy or be happy with what you got. But no, I'm gonna go out and get a new iPhone because I want a better camera. You know what? Just go out and buy a camera. But one thing that the iPhone has done for people that like to create things is it's opened up a world of not having to carry two things with you. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've carried, a tape recorder and a video recorder of some kind and a microphone and this, that, and the one thing that the iPhone and these modern phones do is they roll everything into one. So it's a creator's dream. If you're somebody who uh, puts out information, this is like the dream come true. You can look like a pro putting out your information uh, without having to have to transfer from different mediums to one medium or back or so on and so forth. So in that respect, I like it. But boy, oh boy, sometimes the changes you got to go through to get information and to get it up on the air or wherever it needs to go so that you can be the end user of it can be frustrating. Now, I also will add into that whole mix that, my patience has gone down a little bit with electronic devices. I just, you know, I mean, I've never been a great techie guy to begin with, and I probably don't know half the things that my iPhone can do. There's a great series on YouTube of a guy who explains iPhones to older people, and as I barrel here toward my 70th birthday, I realize what the getting old thing or being an older person is about. And I'm not saying about, oh my God, look at me. It's just that there are things that you have less patience with. Um, and I don't know if it's age or it's just personality or what it is, but you definitely lose some of your patience as you get older. So that's a warning to all who are hoping to, and I hope you'll join me in getting older. I'll let you know about the big birthday celebration that we're going to have. Yeah, right. Be me sitting in. Well, I was going to say me sitting in McCrory's eating a bowl of clam chowder and a fish sandwich over in the corner there with Mick, telling him my problems. But what are you going to do? All right, what do we got on the agenda this morning? You know, I want to, let's see. All right, couple of great things to talk about. The, and the automotive world is in topsy turvy right now. There are three basic things that are going on in the automotive world. Number one is that there's a lot of groovy product in the line. There are things that are coming that are going to blow you away as far as cars and trucks. There are, and it amazes me that these things still exist and are still there to come out when the auto industry is taking such a bath with EVs and different projects that aren't going right. The uncertainty of doing business under the Trump administration. Are there going to be tariffs? Are there not going to be tariffs? There's just a lot of stuff going on. And it's probably pretty tough to be an auto executive right now. Although Stellantis found somebody to take that job to be their head, so that'll be interesting to watch what happens there. But one of the things that again blows me away is just how this business, on one end makes incredible profits, and on the other end is trying to find its way through autonomous driving, which we thought was dead, but I guess not. Through a switch to a new type of power, to a different type of power, to electric vehicles that was mandated by the government. Now the mandates are off. Now they're back on again. Now they're off again. The recent story is that the federal government has done away with all of the different incentives that you're going to get to buy an electric car. So we're really going to find out if you like electric cars, because there's going to be no more $7,500 rebate from the federal government. Now, state governments will differ. So Washington may still give out rebates on electric cars because they want to get their pollution down. They want to keep that market going. And as we have seen in this country, the automotive dealers associations are very strong associations. So at a state level, they may be able to go in and move people around a little bit and say, we need to have these incentives on cars, electric cars. Now, they might not be as big as the incentives that we are seeing or that we saw under the last administration, but there are, and there will be, I think, this is opinion now, still major incentives on electric cars. They want to get people into electric cars. I think that my personal opinion is electric cars are good cars. They are not for everybody, but if we can get the pollution and the global problems down by using electric cars, and we have these great cars that are fast and quick and fit in an urban environment, why wouldn't you use them? Problem is, you have to come out with an electric car that is affordable, that has consumer confidence and that it'll go 300 miles or 400 miles between charges, and that you can make accessibility to chargers, that you can make chargers a thing that people don't think about. They pull up in the street, they see a bank of chargers, and they charge their cars. Not quite like gas stations, but that you take that worry out of driving somewhere. I saw something neat. Where was I looking at it? I saw, oh, you know what? It was on one of the automotive news programs that I consume every week, one of many. And it was this company that has come up with a charging system that you literally build into the curb. There are literally chargers built into the curb. And you flip open this door on the curb, and the cord comes out, and you plug it in, and you scan your credit card, show them your credit card, and boom, your car is charged. And these can be installed on the street. They're unobtrusive. They're down there in the ground, and it seems to be a fairly easy way to put charging stations up on the street if municipalities are going to do that. I don't know what the numbers are. It would seem to me that as the electric car revolution, or whatever you want to call it, gets bigger, that cities, even private entrepreneurs, will be able to expand on or profit from, I should say, charging, just like gas stations profit from selling gas. It's always amazed me since I've started playing around with electric cars, and I mean, I'm plugging in electric cars now 6-7 years. I guess that's when the first ones were coming out, right? How I go to a charging station, like there's a charging station right up here on um, Aurora, not too far from where I live. And there's 4 charging stations there. They're pretty much during the daytime always filled. There's a guy, even at night they're filled. There's a guy that's opened up a food stand right next to the charging stations. And this guy is doing a good business at night. And there's a Starbucks there. And they're doing a good business during the day. And I say to myself, why wouldn't more people try to buy the rights or try to build either a food truck or a coffee truck or something like that at these places that have multiple charging stations? Why wouldn't Tesla have some kind of coffee truck or food truck set up at every bank of 20 charging stations? I've said before, I think the future of this is going to be like a lounge where people are going to go in, they're going to plug their cars in to the lounge, to the charging machine. They're going to go sit in the lounge, and they're going to be able to sit there 20 minutes, a half hour, whatever it is, get their emails, get their, whatever it is, buy their coffee and whatever they're going to eat, and do their business. Get back in the car in 20 minutes and take off. Starbucks does not seem to go in for this, but I'll tell you who is. Now, we don't have them out here, or I don't think we have any in California, but Waffle House has seen the value of this idea. So Waffle House is going to install electric chargers at all of their Waffle Houses. Now, it's funny because Waffle House is like one of the last places you would think would be an electric car centric kind of place. I mean, you actually think you're going to see, 90 92, 93, 95 Cadillacs and pickup trucks outside a Waffle House. But evidently they feel that this is something that's going to benefit their clientele. So Waffle House is going to install electric chargers at their locations. I don't know if people here are familiar with Waffle House. Um, it's back east is an institution. I mean, it's like I mean, you haven't lived until you've seen a fight in a Waffle House. 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, man, everybody's in there. They've been drinking all night and all that, and people just start fighting with each other. You have been in back east or down south, especially, until you have seen a fight in a Waffle House. It's almost equivalent, not quite, but almost equivalent to like a White Castle in the Northeast or in the Midwest. Where you go into a White Castle at night and you're almost definitely going to see some people locking heels about something. Anyway, so Waffle House is going to take that on. I'm sure that as time progresses, more businesses out here that like to attract people to them will start to say, well, if I put 20 chargers up here, you know who else is putting chargers in? And I think we mentioned this when Honey May Kenworthy was on this show, but Costco is contracted to put a ton of chargers in their locations. So we will see as time progresses, chargers go into Costco. So you go in, you charge your car, you do your shopping, you come out, and boom, you're done. 25 minutes, you're in there. 30 minutes, your car is charging. You're in and out. That's it. Boom, boom. Tariffs. We still don't know what the hell is happening with the tariffs. If you know, tell me. It changes from week to week. More insanity this past week with these tariffs. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I can tell you, if you're going to buy a car, if you feel like you need a car in the next few months, find somebody who knows about cars and don't do it by yourself. Don't do it by yourself. Find a friend, take somebody with you, pay somebody if you have to research it with you and it knows the automotive business a little bit, or a lot of it actually, because the range of changes that you have to go through to know what's a tariff on cars is this. It's going to be nuts for the foreseeable future. Hyundai says that they are going to raise prices on their vehicles to correlate with the tariffs. So you can expect at least a 1% rise across the board on Hyundai prices. That, according to the Autoline network. General Motors. This was one story I wanted to make sure I got to. Number one, because it's General Motors, and number two, because my friend Mike Brown is from Buffalo, and this has to concern Buffalo, specifically Tonawanda, New York. Tonawanda, where they used to make the 396 high-performance Chevy V8 engine. And it said it right on the valve cover. When you opened the hood of that SS396, it said it right on that big block valve cover. Proudly made in Tonawanda, New York. And I've actually been to the Tonawanda plant for General Motors in New York. Well, guess what? General Motors has said that they are going to dump $900 million into the Tonawanda plant to build combustion engines. So if you think the combustion engine is going away, it ain't. These are engines, mostly V8s, mostly for trucks, but these engines will be built in Tonawanda, New York. It will, besides keeping people there who are already working at Tonawanda, a place where they were previously doing a lot of electric parts work. They will also be adding jobs in a place that needs jobs in Tonawanda, just right outside. It's between Buffalo and Canada, right there by the International Bridge, I think they call it. But right as you're on the way to Niagara Falls, you see the sign there on the right as you're heading north. It says Tonawanda, General Motors, Tonawanda. You can't miss it. So kudos to GM for that, for continuing to realize that you need to also improve the internal combustion engine as well. And what we see in internal combustion engines are a far cry from what we saw coming off the assembly line in the 1970s and the 1980s. Their configurations as V8s are the same, but not much else. Toyota, speaking about electrics, Toyota is going to have 7 by next year. They're going to have 7 total electrics in their lineup, full electrics. You will be able, Toyota is telling us that in a couple of years, you will be able to buy any model that Toyota has in an ICE, in a hybrid, or in a full electric, whichever you want. And that, my friends, is the way to do it. You should have the freedom of choice to go in and buy what you want to buy. If your needs tilt more toward an electric, you should be able to go in and buy that. If your needs tilt more toward a gasoline engine, well, then you should be able to go in and buy that too. So Toyota has, I think, the right idea on this. It's going to be expensive for them to keep all of that stock and build 3 ways, but I guess they figured that by giving customers choice, they'll get more customers. By not shoving down a customer's throat what they have to buy and saying, well, you can have it this way, or this way. Which way would you like it? And they say, well, I need a hybrid. All right, we'll get you a hybrid. And boom. It's like when you go to the store, it's no different. You go and you go and you buy what you need. Well, Toyota looks like they're giving people that option. Go and buy what you need. So Toyota, nice job with them doing that. Matter of fact, we'll talk about that Grand Highlander in just a couple of minutes. What a car that thing is. You talk about a 3-seat SUV that is punches above its weight. I think the Highlander is Grand Highlander does that exceptionally well. Did you watch the Indianapolis 500 last week? What a crazy finish, right? Cheating at the Indianapolis 500. Cars moved to the back that finished up front, moved to the back. Oh, what a mess that turned out to be. But Roger Penske apologized, and so all is well. All continues. Next stop, I think Detroit, right? The Streets of Detroit race. Got to find out if Kirby is going to go to that. I got and I'm making my plans now to see if I can pull it off to do both the Kentucky Derby and the Indianapolis 500. If I could spend the month of May next year in Indiana. I mean, how much could a bed and breakfast be in Indiana? How much could it be to get a hotel for a month in Indiana? I mean, how much could these things cost? So we will do that, and who knows? Maybe we'll even take you along. Oh yeah, and Dodge announced that the Hellcat, that 700 horsepower, you need two keys to drive it, Hellcat, is going to be around another year. I think it's the Durango Hellcat, if I'm not mistaken. But that's going to be around another year. So if you have that need for 700 horsepower and you have the bucks to buy it, I'm sure your local Dodge dealer will be happy to either sell you one or find one for you for a nominal fee. So those are some of the things that are going on in the automotive world this week, and lots of stuff happening. And we try to keep you updated on it all. Helping us do that is my good friend George Jackson from GJ Promo. George, who is we call him the king of promo items. If you need promotional items for your business, George is the guy you want to see at GJ Promo. If you need stuff to make people know who you are, George is the guy you want to see at gjpromo.com. My friend George has been selling business promotion items for years and years and years. He knows the business in and out. He's a reliable, friendly, trustworthy guy, which is more than I can say for myself, who will get the job done. So if you need tchotchkes for your business, you want 1,000 schedules to give out at the game next week or 2 weeks from now, right? You call George up, you tell him what you need. He's going to tell you a price. You're going to tell him yes, he's going to get the stuff there for you. It's that simple. Reliability and service are things that are disappearing from the American scene. You go into a store and the clerks sit around scrolling their phones, man. Maybe they look at you and maybe they give you a one whiff. But if, service in this country is dead, except at GJ Promo, where if you need something from George, you pick up the phone. You don't go on a computer. You don't talk to some AI thing. You call George, and George picks up the phone, and he says, Lenny, what do you need? And Lenny says, well, I need 1,000 schedules for next Saturday night. And George says, all right, I'll get them there for you by Thursday. And Thursday morning, the FedEx guy comes, and there's a box, and there's 1,000 schedules. And it says Lenny's football game. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing spelled. Everything right. Everything done correctly. Everything checked and on time and on budget. It's right in there. So if you need promotional items for your business, please, before you order from somebody online that you don't know that could be getting the stuff from anywhere, call my friend George Jackson at GJ Promo. Just go on. You go on Facebook, he's there. You go on the internet, gjpromo.com. Find him, check his catalog out, and if there's something there that you can do for him, that he can do for you, that you can work a deal out, please think of George, because he's a strong supporter of this show. He's a good friend, and he's a good guy. And in this life, we should help the good people out. The people that are good people, that care about their community, that care about their fellow man, woman, child. We should help these people out. And by ordering from George, you're helping me keep the show on the air. You're helping you're helping yourself with quality products, and most of all, you're supporting small business. Okay, all right. Let's see. We got okay. We got to try to do this one more time. I'm sorry that I'm doing this like this, but unfortunately, it is it is my phone is gone. This damn iPhone. I'm really disliking this phone. Turn it off. Turn the phone off. Yes, I want to power off the device. There we go. Start it up again, see if we can make it work. All right. We'll have to do this in reverse order, I guess. I got a chance last week to drive the Toyota Grand Highlander. And it's just, it's hard to tell you how impressed I was with this vehicle. I mean, this Toyota Grand Highlander is, it slots in above the Highlander and below the Sequoia. And price-wise, it slots in the same. If you don't want to spend a ton of money for the Sequoia, or you don't want to go to a Lexus, which is going to be probably 10 grand more for the same thing, it's a vehicle that you probably want to look at. It falls in that. Now, they won't tell you it's a luxury SUV because they don't want to cause problems with Lexus. But the reality is, it is a luxury SUV. And while it doesn't have, all of the baubles and beads that the Lexus has, it has enough to keep you well interested. It is especially if you want a third row that has actual room for people's legs. If you want a third row that you can climb into, sit down, and put a couple of adults back there. If you want a third row that is going to be accommodating for people, that's one of the things that this car is going to deliver you. It has one of the best third rows, that for adults that I've seen in any car this year, except for the Volkswagen ID Buzz. First and second rows are good as well. As you look at the engine, and this thing, we'll get to the engine in a minute, but the first and second rows, very comfortable car to drive, very easy car to drive, and I thought plenty powerful. I thought that this vehicle really, gave you enough horsepower with 362 horsepower with the max engine. It pumped the hybrid power out. It was comfortable. It didn't soak up. It soaked up the bumps on the road. As you drove down the road, you hit some of these roads in Washington and Marona. They, feel like they have potholes a foot wide. This thing ate them up, and it didn't jar you like some of these vehicles do. The suspension in this thing, Toyota got the suspension mix here right. It was soft enough for a family car. It's not a Mazda. It's not going to give you that sports car, that feel of the road. It's going to give you much more of a luxury feel to it. But I'll compare it again, as I said before, to a Lexus. I think that it really shows up. Has easy to switch drive modes that are right there that you can use, that you can figure out, including a sport mode that actually feels like a sport mode. The hybrid, as we said, gives you, the ability to use electric for a certain distance. By the way, somebody said, how much bigger is the Grand Highlander than the Highlander? I think this is about 6 inches longer. And what's kind of interesting in this car is you don't lose the cargo space that you usually do in hybrids. You got to put the battery somewhere. I don't know where they put the battery in the Grand Highlander, but it's a great vehicle in that they've hidden the battery well, so you don't lose a lot of cargo space in this thing. Again, the hybrid that can give you 362 horsepower in the max engine, 245 in the base. Nice efficiency with gas. Gives you good gas mileage. And a complete, spacious, great family car. Plus, the thing I like, there's two other things in this car that we don't always talk about. Even if you go down to the lowest models, there is still a ton of standard equipment on this car, especially when it comes to safety. Toyota has an aim of building a safe car. And so they do load these things up with, lane change stuff, the lane keeping system, the blind spot systems, the braking system, the emergency brake system that, stops if somebody walks behind your cameras. And all of this stuff comes standard on most of the vehicles. So I think it's a buy. And again, I think we were, if I'm not mistaken, we were about $55,000 with this vehicle. Had a great touchscreen, huge. And again, you have a ton of storage in this thing. You have room to put stuff all over the place. Got in the mid-20s for city highway driving. I mean, not spectacular numbers, but added horsepower and torque in this thing still gave you a decent number, 27. Look, Toyota is they're the number one car maker because they make good cars, solid cars that feel like they're well constructed. Engineering that doesn't go overboard, technology that doesn't go overboard. It feels like it's well crafted. Feels like these people care about what they're doing. And that's why, I think this particular vehicle, this Grand Highlander, will be one of the vehicles that you'll go out there and take a look at and say, I love it. Especially, again, if you use that third row to have that extra space in there is fantastic. To have that ability to get in that third row and to keep your feet flat, to not have to sit to the side, to be able to sit up. It's really, again, if you're shopping vehicles, mid-sized vehicles, there's not a lot of them out there, but if you're shopping mid-sized vehicles with the third row, not a lot of them out there. Go take a look at this one. And the thing is if you can find one, because they're so good that it's really hard to get them. So I may be telling you a story about a car that you can't even buy. But they're out there. If you want one, you'll find one. They're out there. But again, 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander, great vehicle, lives up to, it lives by the credo that we use here on Drive Time Radio. Does it do what it was designed to do? And it does in a big way. It does. It does exactly what they designed it to do, be a great family car. So if you're going to head out to the showroom, go take a look at one of those if you're in the market for that type of vehicle. Now, I'm hoping here in the next couple of minutes that we can get our Yo, Vinnie, what are you driving this week together? It's stuck in my phone. And I did want to really show you what I'm driving this week because it's another winter vehicle. I mean, I don't drive that many bad vehicles. Contrary to popular opinion, I don't run into that many vehicles that are, that is something that if I needed a vehicle that I would, I wouldn't buy that. I mean, that's the great thing about right now is that there are tons of really, really good vehicles out there from most automakers. I mean, there's a few that are a little shaky, but for the most part, everything that you see out there, or whatever you buy, is gonna do the trick for you, or at least I think it will. Boy, oh boy, how do you? Again, what did they do to my Patuta? Anyway, we all working on it. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The problem with cars these days, used to be, oh, you're buying a lemon, you're buying this, you're buying that. Problem with cars these days is simply that they're too expensive. I mean, I don't know how people can afford $1,000 a month car payment. I mean, I know I couldn't. I look at these numbers because we have all these research companies sending us numbers all the time. What they have, pull this apart, pull that apart. The problem is that American cars, that all cars, are too expensive. I mean, again, you walk into a showroom, you want to buy a new car, and you look at this Grand Highlander, and it's 50 grand for a vehicle. It probably should be 35 to 40 maybe. But with all the electronics in them, all of the different stuff, and the dealers, well, not so much the dealers, the companies putting it to you. I mean, they're going to get top dollar for what they're doing. They're making an investment. They're entitled to make money, right? The problem is that not too many automakers are coming out with inexpensive vehicles. I just read somewhere that Nissan is closing the Versa plant that makes Versa stick shift cars. So that immediately pushes every car. That immediately says that there are no under $20,000 cars anymore. Because a Versa with an automatic, I think, tips the scale at 21,000 or 500. But that's part of the problem. I don't hear too many people complaining about my car sucks, or my car won't do this, or my car won't do that. Geez, the cars will do more than you ever thought they would. More than people, when I was growing up, ever thought a car could do. But the price you got to pay to join the club, and it's not getting any better with used cars. Used cars is turning into a fiasco as well. So that's something that you want to think about as well. If you need to get into a used car, you're going to you're going to get to a point with the used cars where, and I think we saw it during the pandemic. I think it's going to go back there, where once again you're going to see, uh, used cars rivaling what you see for new cars. So it's crazy, but we're here to try to help you map it all out and point you in the right direction and get you the car, help you give you the information. So if you're into cars like I'm into cars, you get the information and you do what you need to do. But if you're going to buy a car these days, you need to research it. You need to not only listen to this show, which is a casual look at cars, but you also need to research a lot of what is going on in the car world right now. You have to be a smart consumer. You have to be able to go in there and know what you're talking about, or at least look like you know what you're talking about. My old man used to say, if you don't know what you're talking about, look like you know what you're talking about. And that'll go a long way. And old Joe was right. All right. For some reason, we're not getting the Yo Vinnie up like we're supposed to. I don't know what's going on with our. Wait, let me just try one more thing here. I don't know. Here, maybe we can do it like this. Look at this. Did Vinnie just take care of the problem? He may have. It's going to be costly because I lost one of my monitors, but we have another great vehicle. Okay, this week, the Yo Vinnie, what are we driving this week? Okay, that's what I wanted. All right, the Yo Vinnie, what are you driving this week? Is I've told you this. I don't think anybody. It's a big secret that I love Volkswagen. That I think that they make great product, over engineered at times, but great product. They give people. It's a fun, solid vehicle to drive. It's a snappy looking vehicle. It's nothing like the old Volkswagens that you thought of in the 60s and the 70s, the 80s, if you were around. But there's a tradition that's in these vehicles of snappy small cars. The Rabbit, the Golf, the Scirocco. I go back now. Obviously, they don't make those cars anymore. Well, the Golf they still do, but that type of car, small, snappy, and very cool to drive, very fun to drive. Um, their SUVs are also, again, I don't know that they're value propositions. I don't know that their value is more than anybody else's, but they seem to be good, solid vehicles that bake. I wouldn't call it fun, but they bake a lot of tech into these things. They bake a lot of different things that make a car interesting to drive. That give you a lot of options to do things. Now, this week I'm driving the 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan, and again, a car that I'm enamored with. I've just got it a day. I got it late, and I mean, I really like everything about this car. It's roomy, number one. It's stylish. I mean, that color just attracts people, and so the Tiguan really, gets people's attention if that's what you're looking for. Where this car really scores and scores big time, I think, is the interior. I mean, plenty of room in this thing, but look at the interior, the stylization of the interior, not just the color of the seats and the pattern and everything like that, but the ergonomics of this interior. The seats are some of the most comfortable that I've sat in one of these vehicles, and they massage. And I can't tell you how much I love seats that massage. This was another thing. Look at the design on that back door. That ribbon cue there. I mean, that's just a little thing that you look at after you buy a car. Not when you're buying a car, but you look at it after you buy the car. And you go, "Gee, I'm glad I bought this car." That's a very nice, stylish looking part of this vehicle. Now, this is a gas only, it's not a hybrid. It's the SEL 4Motion. And so far, as I said, I've just had it a day. I'm going to take it on the road. It's the R line. They've changed the logo for the R line this year. But again, a vehicle that does a nice job of uh, of hauling you and your family around. So we'll look at it. We'll examine it more. We'll have a full review for you on a future show. But initial impressions are a car that's really solid and really stylish. And the interior of this thing, and as Bob Lutz, former president of GM and Icon, said, it's the interior, stupid. People spend their time in the car in the interior. So it has to be something special. It has to make you comfortable. It has to make you feel in control. It has to make you feel like you got your money's worth. If you don't put anything in the exterior of the car, put your money in the interior where the person has to sit and look and see what he bought or she bought for the longest amount of time. I think the guy was right. And I think that it's you know, it is painfully obvious well, not painfully obvious, just obvious that the Volkswagen engineers took those words to heart and they put an interior in this Tiguan, aside from the rest of the car, but put an interior here that you're going to feel comfortable. And you know what? Before I jump off this, you got to give Mazda some credit in this class because Mazda, a couple of years ago, decided to up their game with interiors. They wanted to bring their brand up. They wanted to drive it more toward a luxury brand, drive the perception of it more toward a luxury brand. And so Mazda went on this program, I don't know, 5 years ago, whatever it is, of improving their interiors, better materials, better fit and finish, easier to use components, easier to understand electronics, bigger screens, all the stuff that you touch and feel and I think what they have done is they have caused other manufacturers to up their interior game. So all of a sudden, we're seeing now, one of their competitors, Volkswagen, better interiors. General Motors, and their midsize SUVs, better interiors. I mean, General Motors had the blandest interiors around. Now, I'm not saying that Mazda is the cause of it all, but it seems to me, in observing, that Mazda was the first one to kind of push to have better interior materials in their cars. And they got the idea across that this was really where you were going to win the customer. And now Volkswagen is following suit. I mean, Volkswagen always had, again, good interiors, but they were a little bland, a little hard, plasticky, if you will. Now they're in their top line models. even in there, I mean, I drove a Jetta a few weeks ago that was, you know, I don't know, $27,000 Jetta, $28,000 Jetta. And it was, the interior in that thing felt like it came out of a car that was worth a lot more. Felt like it was a $40,000 interior. And that's in one of their low-end models. So the interiors are getting better. And I think the vehicles are getting better. What they have to do, and I'll leave you with this thought, is they have to build cars that can be affordable to the common person. They're not selling electric cars. If you had a $25,000 electric car right now, or a $30,000 electric car that had 200 miles of range, you'd probably sell all you could print. Maybe 250. I think you got to get up above 250. But for the commuter who would go and buy that car to drive back and forth to work, to run the kids to school, that would be a win proposition. To buy a car like that and have a $250 or $300 car payment a month and a warranty on it, and the safety of knowing that you're driving a new vehicle and not some junkyard ass rat trap that you buy off of Sammy's Pay It Here used car loans. Yeah, car business has to look at itself and has to get better at this, getting affordable cars out there for people. All right, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We always appreciate it. I think we're going to be off next week, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to make arrangements. I'm going to be on the road, trying to make arrangements to do the show from the road. But if I can't, we will see you in a week. Maybe we'll run something next week. I'll try to see if I can make that happen. But and I'm getting out on the road. We'll have some road stuff for you. As a matter of fact, I got 2 road trips already in the books for June and July, and we may have a third one coming up pretty soon. We'll see if that'll work out as well. But this is going to be a summer of getting out on the road, I think. I didn't do that a lot last summer, and I missed it a lot. So as I said, as I barreled toward my 70th, who knows? Maybe we'll celebrate it on the road somewhere. All right. Thank you very much for listening. We will catch up with you Monday morning with Mikey, with Michael Knight, New York Vinnie, and we'll see you next. We'll see what happens. We'll probably see you next week, if not the week after, here on Drive Time, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I'm New York Vinnie. Thank you so much for listening. We always appreciate your time. Bye-bye now.